Hello, hello. Happy Sunday. Let me check if I'm live already. One second. How are you? How's weekend so far? Okay, looks like I'm live. All right, looks good. Okay, now, guys, welcome back to Ask Jason Anything. Basically, this is my weekly live where I go live every Sunday night at 10 p.m. Malaysia time to answer questions about Facebook advertising and digital marketing that I receive on my YouTube channel. So, if you are new to this, welcome to my channel and thank you for watching this. So if you have any Facebook ads related questions, all you need to do is actually to go to my YouTube channel first. That's the first thing because I've actually answered 900 over. I've got 900 over videos, close to 1,000 now, answering questions about Facebook advertising, TikTok advertising, YouTube marketing for the past, I don't know, like 2 3 years now. Yeah, so chances are I probably have answered a question that is similar to what you have before. However, if you cannot find any answer to your question, don't worry. All you need to do is just to post your question as a comment on any of my YouTube videos. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you later. I'm going to screenshot your question and I'm going to bring it over here to answer your question every Sunday night. So all you need to do is post your question and come back on the following Sunday on my YouTube channel as well as on my Facebook presences and all and LinkedIn as well to listen to my reply to your question. Okay. I hope you forgive me because I actually do not reply to your comment as in like via text because I believe a lot of Facebook ads and digital marketing related like topics are quite technical that I prefer to communicate with you like this verbally. Okay. And yeah, instead of just replying to your comment and back and forth texting and all, I don't think that's really effective. Okay. Now, yeah. So if you're watching this live, if you have any questions for me, just post your question as a comment. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to answer those questions that I receive on my YouTube channel first. Then I will come back to your question. Okay. So if you have any questions, post it in the comment and wait until the end, and I'll come back to you. Okay. Now let's bring this up. So this session is called Ask Jason Anything. It is also now a podcast that you can actually watch it on YouTube. I mean, YouTube podcast is kind of like a new thing for now. I actually turned it into a podcast, and in fact, it actually works. So for those who have been curating content like this, it's actually good to turn it into a YouTube podcast because you get extra exposure where YouTube would actually show your content to more people who are into consuming content in a more, like podcasting way. So, which is quite interesting. So, just for any one of you who are building, your content on YouTube, and at the same time you're also being a podcaster, I would recommend that you actually take this opportunity and leverage on the exposure that YouTube is giving you right now. So yeah. Okay, now the first question that I get was this was actually posted about 2 weeks ago. I forgot to screenshot it and it's kind of like I missed it. Okay, so this is actually coming from Bartendu. Okay, so you're saying you're totally new on Facebook ads. Recently, when you tried to create your business manager that restricted you due to frustration and anger, you mixed several IDs and they all got banned. Now, when you got to your first ID and try to confirm ID, it shows 0 days. You're in great trouble. Is there any solution to it? Please help. Now, yeah, I mean, a few rule of thumbs that you have to bear in mind. Okay, first thing first, when they ask for ID verification, I mean, it is actually normal when you're trying to do business related activities like running ads and creating business manager. It's a normal thing that Facebook might request for your ID verification. So what they will do is they will disable your account. And if you follow the steps, like I say, follow the steps. Okay, the keyword here is follow the steps and don't get panicked and frustrated. Just follow the steps, and what they all always wanted was to actually get you to verify your ID by submitting your driving license or your passport. Make sure you submit your document in English. I mean, I've actually came across some situation where, if you're in foreign language, that could be quite, like rare. Internationally, I mean, there are chances you might get, like rejected because they probably don't understand that. So The easiest or the safest option is to go by what do we call the passport, which is usually international, which is in English. So you try that and go through that stage, and it takes a couple of days up to a week to verify. And after that, keep following up, keep refreshing the page. And if it's like nothing happened, try to follow up with them and all that. Usually get through this stage, you are okay. Now, another rule of thumb is do not create new profile to do this. I mean, you still have 50-50 chance of getting banned, but what Facebook doesn't like is, like new profile, because it has no track record. And, because Facebook is being spammed by a lot of bots and stuff like that. So they have a lot of so-called precautions for new profile. So yeah, like you say, everything is rejected and banned. And after you try everything, you come back, you have 30 days. Now that's the third rule of thumb, which is when they ask for your ID verification, do it within 30 days. Otherwise, it will be permanent ban. So if you have come to the stage where you are permanently disabled because you actually submitted your ID late and stuff like that, you are kind of at the dead end right now, but it's not the end of the world. So what we usually do is we would actually borrow someone else's profile, which is not a new profile, but an existing profile that has been around for a while, and then we use that to create business manager, and they might get rejected or restricted and being requested for the ID. Go through that and create a new Facebook page and create a new ad account and start running ads. Usually that would actually get through. However, because since last year I've actually worked with hundreds of Facebook advertisers from all around the world who actually face similar problem. What I'll say is, that this is not one, like one solution to all problems, because every single case, in a way, they are very unique and different. I've seen a lot of different situations. So in order for me to provide you better so-called recommendations on your situation, I would recommend to have a one-on-one with you. So if you want to do that, you can scan this QR code and we can have half an hour discussion. What we will do is, this is a Zoom call. You and I jump on a Zoom call, be prepared to share your screen, and I'll be actually looking at what your situation are, and I'm going to give you personalized recommendation about what you should do next to, like start running ads again, because the bottom line is we want to get back to run ads again. So this is not free, but it's not very expensive. It's really a, like a nominal charges to be fair to both of us, so that we can actually do this in a more effective way. So scan this QR code and you'll be landed on Fiverr. Purchase the gig, you'll receive a link to have a call with me, and eventually we will have a discussion on that. Okay, so that's that. Thank you for your question, Bratendu. And followed by, we have another question coming from Pranoy. Okay, your identity confirmation keeps getting failed on Facebook. The page is a business page, hence the name of your personal ID does not match the page name. What can you do? Okay, now the thing is, you see, you have to really differentiate. Now, when it comes to Facebook identities or so-called presences, they are different level. First, it's your profile. Profile means you. Like me, I'm Jason Gan. You're Pranoy. Okay, so that's our profile. And then we create business pages. Now, business pages means, like for my case, I have TribeUp Academy, which is my company, or Jason Gan, which is another page. Now, usually when it comes to ID verification, Facebook would want the identity confirmation that the document that you submit matches your profile name, which is like, for me, it's Jason, for you, it's Pranoy. So it has to be matching the profile name. But what happened to a lot of businesses is when they create a business or so-called a Facebook presence for their business per se, they usually started with creating a fake account. So-called fake profile, which the name could be, Jason Gun Support, for example, or TribeUp Academy Support, for example, okay? And then you use this fake profile to create a Facebook page, which is TribeUp Academy, for example. So I have TribeUp Academy Support as a profile and created a Facebook page called TribeUp Academy. Now, here's the problem. Whenever Facebook requests for verification, they want you to provide an identity that matches TribeUp Academy Support, which is impossible. So that's the reason why I always tell people, do not create new profile for the purpose of business activities. use your own profile. That's the best way, because Facebook would believe that, if you have been around for a while, Facebook would value that maturity of your profile. Okay, so use that profile to create a Facebook page, because nobody would know who is behind your Facebook page. If that's your worry, do not need to worry, because do you know who is managing Facebook's pages? Do you know, for all these business pages that you have been subscribing to, who are actually running the content behind them? You have no idea. Likewise, when you're creating a business page, nobody knows it's Pranoy behind that. So do not do that. That's why this is the situation. Of course, I would not be able to help you because it just doesn't match that. So what you can do, actually, there are multiple possibilities. What you can possibly do is, you as Pranoy create a business manager, and then go in and request ownership, as in like claim ownership of that Facebook page that has been around for a while. I mean, if your purpose is like, say for example, I've got some clients that has been doing that, right? Create a fake profile to create a Facebook page, and that Facebook page has got like 200,000 to 300,000 subscribers, and they cannot lose that, but they cannot get back into it already because that profile has been locked out. So what we did was, we create a new business manager and we claim ownership, but provided you need to have all the documents to support that you are the owner of this Facebook page, and it is possible for you to get it back. But the process will not be as straightforward, but that's the possible direction you can go for if that's the situation, right? But same thing, okay? I would only be able to give you my recommendation up to this, but if you want me to really look into your situation and give you personalized recommendation about what you should do next and what you can do next, scan this QR code, buy me a mail, and we can spend half an hour together over Zoom, and be prepared to do your screen share so that I can actually look at whatever situations you're at, right? And to give you a recommendation. Okay, so that's that. Pranoy, thanks for the question. Next is coming to Mary Grace. Okay, today we seem to have a lot of restriction here. So Mary Grace is saying your Facebook ads is permanently restricted. What would you do if you want to monetize through Facebook ads? You see, like, you're asking multiple questions here. So first of all, your Facebook ads is restricted. And then the second question is, what would you do if you want to monetize through Facebook ads? Now, monetization on Facebook is not the same as running ads. Now, monetization means you're a content creator. You've been creating content, especially video content on Facebook, and then you want to be able to monetize, meaning when Facebook runs ads in between to your video viewers and all that, you can actually earn ad revenue from that. I've met quite a number of successful content creators that are making good money through Facebook monetization. Now, for that situation, okay, that's another thing. In order to be able to monetize your content, there are certain so-called requirements you need to fulfill, like X number of page likes you need to have, X number of hours you have been, viewed and stuff like that. So those are the requirements. So in order to monetize on Facebook, running ads may or may not help you, because later on somebody actually asked me another question as well, whether running ads to get people to view your video, would that help you in terms of getting monetization, as in like, because you need to actually fulfill X number of view hours, right, of your video. Does that contribute to your monetization? Now, based on my reading, because I've never monetized a channel before for myself, but I've monetized my multiple YouTube channels. Now, here's the thing. On YouTube, it is actually written there that when you run ads to promote your video, those views are not counted towards your monetization goal. So it is outright saying, no, you don't do that. If you do that, it's not counted. Now, back to Facebook, I was actually looking for the similar clause. I may have missed it, but so far, based on what I read, there is no clear statement saying you cannot do that. But there is also no statement saying that you can do that. So that's the challenge. Okay, so when it comes to that kind of situation, my recommendation is this. You can actually try running ads, and you see whether those views that you get through ads contribute to your goal or not. Because usually when you're actually going through this monetization qualification process, they'll always give you the progress. Now, at how many hours you have actually achieved, how many subscribers you have already achieved. So let's say, for example, if you run ads for a week, okay, and then you generated, like, say, for example, 10,000 views, or so-called 1,000 hours of video view. and then you come back and check on your progress to see whether it actually was added to that. If it does add to the progress, then of course go ahead. I mean, that means you can do that. If it doesn't, then well, probably that's a clear indicator that you cannot use Facebook ads to contribute to your monetization. That's what I have based on my reading and understanding. But back to another question, when your Facebook ads is being restricted, permanently restricted, there are many situations, but what I will always recommend you to do is to check whether it is ad account restriction or it's a profile restriction. So if it's an ad account restriction, you can actually create a new Facebook business manager, create another ad account and start running ads for it. But if it's a profile restriction, then what you can only do is like borrow someone else's profile, create a business manager, create a page and create a ads manager for that and start running ads for that. But like I said, there are many different situations. I cannot say for sure what route would be more suitable for you. So if you want me to look into your situation, same thing, scan this QR code, buy me a mail so that we can actually have half an hour discussion to look at your situation, and I'm able to give you personalized recommendation based on my experience. I cannot say I have answers to all questions or all solutions. I mean, solutions to all problems, but I do my best because I work with hundreds of Facebook advertisers around the world to solve this problem of theirs already. So yeah, I have some experience to share with you. So that's that, okay? Mary Grace, I hope that answered your question. Next, we have local VFX. Okay, so can you make something for the wedding photography, videography, lead generation tutorial? You're really struggling. The real problem is whatever you learn on YouTube, things are really different here in India when you run ads. Well, I do have some free training giving you some routes about how do you actually run Facebook ads to generate leads. But generally, those are general training, meaning you can actually learn. And like you say, all these free materials on YouTube are great, but it's all about implementation. But if you want to have a more like proper guidance, as in like I have some training, all you need to do is just go to my YouTube channel. I mean, sorry, not YouTube channel. Go to my website. Sorry, tribeupacademy.com. Go under courses. There is a course about Facebook ads for lead generation. You can actually go through that. I mean, it's a paid course, of course, but it's not expensive. If you are ready for that, go for it. And you can actually learn my way of running ads on Facebook and using the framework, how do we target audience and stuff like that. Hopefully, you can actually learn in a more proper way to run ads on Facebook. Otherwise, if you want some really personalized training, meaning like I have a program where I would work with you on a done with you format where you and I will spend 3 weeks at least together to strategize your campaign, build your campaign, and optimize your campaign one-on-one with me, okay, in 3 weeks, in technically 3 to 4 sessions of Zoom call. So this is a one-on-one thing. So of course, it's not free and it's not cheap, but it would definitely be a lot more beneficial for you if you really want something that is personalized and tailor-made for your business, because it's you and I. So everything is going to be like, okay, let's do this, let's not do this, let's design it this way, let's build it up this way and stuff like that. It's 100% your business. So yeah, it's going to be very effective because I've worked with a lot of businesses around the world using this format. Instantly, they have a campaign up and running, and instantly they learn the most important technique they need to know about running ads for their business instead of going through all this generic training and everywhere. So if that's what you want, then it's not for everyone. Okay, it's only for those who have been running ads. But I would not be able to actually help you until I understand your business better. So I would say best if you have been running ads on Facebook, and you can actually scan this QR code also, so that we can actually look at your situation and look into your after you sign up for this gig. Eventually I'm going to give you some action plan about what you should do, what you have done right or wrong on your campaign. And then of course, if you see that this is something that you want to do with me, then you have an option to onboard with me. By the time, it's up to you to decide. But if you want me to look at your campaign, okay, and to give you recommendation about what have you done right or wrong and how can you improve it, this is a very quick way to come in for a half an hour, and I'll be able to give you some hopefully actionable solutions about how to get better results on Facebook ads. Okay, so that's that. Thanks for the question. Next, we have Gary. Gary is asking, you have boosted your marketplace item for sale in May. However, it appears it appears to be no option to amend target location or age. So you're not 100% sure if marketplace targets the whole of the UK or the radius where your post is being advertised. What insights do you have here? Okay, I understand, but based on my limited understanding about marketplace advertising, it is actually a very simple advertising solution where there are, there are actually limited so-called options you have. But what I know about location targeting is it would actually only run your ads to certain radius because usually marketplace are very localized. Okay, let's say like UK, right? There is no point running ads. Let's say if you are coming from state A, and then if you are like few 100 kilometers away from state B, then it doesn't make sense for your product to appear there because you cannot do, cash on delivery and stuff like that. So it's usually on the localized basis, as in it's usually within the localization. But like I said, I have very limited understanding about marketplace boost because it's not available in my part of the world. So we have never done it before. But based on what I learned from my clients who actually book a call with me and we have some discussion looking at whatever they have done, it's actually based on the radius. Okay, Gary, I hope that answers the questions. But if you need help, just go back to the QR code. Like if you trust me, like I say, I have limited knowledge about Marketplace Boost. But if you want to have half an hour with me, we can actually look at whatever you have and probably to answer a few more questions you have, scan this QR code and we can actually do this together. Okay, thank you. And the next one is coming from Happy Buck. Okay, so Happy is saying, you hope, your question is, you're just new to Facebook page, you're still on the progress of achieving the requirement of Facebook to be qualified for monetization. So your question is it okay to boost your videos in order to achieve the amount of views and engagement required by Facebook? Would it be counted or does it need to be organic views because you're afraid you may be wasting money to achieve because nothing would happen? Yes, thank you for the question. Now, based on my reading, like I mentioned just now, based on my reading, there is no yes or no stated clearly in the requirement. Otherwise, you probably have read that. I believe so. Because all of us have read through the requirements and what are the so-called qualifications that you need to fulfill, or what are the things that you can or cannot do in the progress of fulfilling the requirements. But based on my experience with YouTube, okay, YouTube, definitely you cannot do that because it's written there outright saying all those views and hours or the view times that that was generated through YouTube ads or like Google ads are not counted to your qualification progress. So it's outright written. That's why we couldn't do that. But on Facebook, maybe I missed it, but I didn't find anything that says whether you can or cannot do that. So I don't have an answer for that. Okay, but what I would recommend is why not you just run some minimal ads? I mean, minimum budget, run some ads and to drive views and engagement and all that. Okay, for maybe a short period of time, like a week. I'd say do it a week. Okay, and don't spend a lot of money, which is like within your, like comfortable level of, affordability. So run that. Let's say after 1 week, let's say you generated extra, like let's say 500 to 1,000 hours or X number of views. So what you can do here is, come back and look at your progress because usually there is a progress bar. One of my page is actually going through the monetization qualification as well, though it's very slow, but it does show you the progress bar, right? And then you look at the progress bar, whether it does reflect, as in like these 500 extra hours, would they reflected in your progress? If it does reflect, then means you can, meaning you can actually run ads, then you can continue to run ads. But if it doesn't, then maybe it is not. Then you should stop running ads. That's why it's all about experimenting. It's all about testing, you see? So try that. Okay, thanks for the question. That's a very interesting one. Never tried that before. And then the last question we have is coming from NG. It's not a question. So you say you have a similar problem on my video about online marketing strategy for lingerie store. So they always block your lingerie business. Yeah, you're welcome. Okay. Now, actually, I just received another question from one of my inquiry as well. He run sexual education, meaning it's not about teaching you how to, like make love or something. It's about teaching you how to transfer in a way, sexual is not really something all about sex because in Indian learning, it's part of your body, it's part of you, it's an energy that you can actually use to achieve something very significant. It's not just about, you know, men and women or something like that. So but it's actually still a sexual so-called energy, so-called usage. So the course is teaching you about how do you, you know, like manifest, or I'm not quite sure 100%, but it's not really 100% about that. But that kind of advertisement is also being on the very, very thin line on Facebook advertising rules as well, because whenever they actually send some like sensitive words like sex, sexual, and all that, it's gotta be like banned. You know, same thing when you're running a lingerie business. If you have a lot of exposing, like, you know, like very so-called sexy images and all that, usually they will flag you. But there must be something you can do. That's why I say you don't need to show sexy pictures to tell people. I mean, to tell people that you're selling lingerie. Just like my recommendation for my client would be, you don't really need to emphasize the so-called the word of sexual courses or so whatever to signify that. You can actually use the angle of like talking about the significance you're going to bring to the person, or the transformation that you're going to bring, and then by addressing the problem to bring people to the landing page that you sell. All this information you are free to put on your landing page, but on the advertisement itself, try to be subtle. That's how I usually approach this kind of campaign. So yeah, I mean, that usually works. That's why, because a lot of people thought that if I am actually selling lingerie, I must do all these like sexy images on my ads. Otherwise, how can I? Do you really need that? Just think about it really deeper. Do you really need to show all this? Can't you have other ways to say, hey, this is the best lingerie store on the internet, without showing it? I mean, there are many ways of running ads, or so-called creating your so-called messaging. All right. So sometimes we just need to think a little bit deeper and find different way of doing it. So that's what I think. But thanks for commenting, and yep, all the best for your advertising. Okay, but just in case if you need help, right, you can also scan the QR code, and we can actually look at your campaign about, to see what's working, what is not working, and I can actually give you recommendation based on that. Yeah, let me flash the QR code for one more time for the sake of it. All right. Okay, now those are the questions I have, but I can see I have some comments over here. Okay, so I'm just gonna let me go through to do that. So somebody was saying use YouTube to monetize. I am not sure what do you mean here. So use YouTube to monetize. I mean that you have to have 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 hours. Is actually very straightforward. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, what else you want to know? Anyway, is it bad to pause Facebook ads at night, for example? It doesn't make sense. I mean, it's not important because Facebook is now very, very smart. Okay. At night, when there are lesser people viewing, they will spend lesser. And during daytime, when there are more people browsing Facebook, they spend more during daytime. So it's actually very smart. So you don't really need to off it. It doesn't make sense. Do you get what I mean? Yeah. I hope that answers your question. Okay. And Richard is saying, short answer: cheap courses are not good. Most cheap courses are just spins of free materials available or free online, and these trainers may not even have experience running ads. I agree with you, Richard. Yeah, but nonetheless, we still see some free material that are really good as well. So I guess it's about how hard you find those information. I think like you dig deeper and all that. But of course, like I say, information are free everywhere. Like how to set up Facebook ads. I bet there are thousands of videos, or even if not millions of videos talking about that. But what we really need to know is sometimes it's about the mindset. Yeah, it's about how the thought process that you need to develop, or you want to learn from somebody who have done it before. Like I admire Richard for his way of analyzing. That's something that I cannot. But different people will have a different strength in terms of running ads. So different people have different so-called uniqueness, or their unique skill set to run ads. And I wouldn't say that Richard's method is good or my method is better than him. No, I think both of our methods are good in a way. But then again, depending on what kind of so-called angle you're looking at the whole advertising process, and what are the requirements to the program, or so-called to the ads that we are running. So if you want something even more extensive, then I've got somebody who actually track close to 100 metrics for every campaign. And that's crazy. But yeah, I mean, that's why we need to, what I will say, if you're talking about learning Facebook ads or learning anything, be open to learn from any marketers, but try to look for the thought process that it makes sense to you. You get what I mean? It's about a thought process that we want to learn from anyone or any experts out there. So all of them are probably good in their own way, but what matches your so-called your thought process? And when you find somebody that matches yours, then I would recommend that you go deeper into learning from them. Usually, it's more beneficial to go into one thought process at a time. I hope it makes sense. But thanks, Richard. Thanks for the sharing. And yeah, somebody's 1226 saying, what are the must do or don'ts advice would you suggest for a successful Facebook ads campaign? Very good. If you watch my latest free training, which I actually posted on my YouTube channel, which I talk about understanding the Facebook ads objective. Now, there are 3 elements, 4 in fact, that makes a good Facebook ads campaign. Okay, it has to be able to deliver the right message, which is the ad creative, to the right people, which is the audience, to get them to take the right action, which is the objective, and with the right strategy. So 4 elements that makes a good Facebook ads campaign. Okay, 1226 City, you've been around for a while. Thank you for watching. But let me ask you, have you started running ads? Start running ads. Seriously, my advice is start running ads, and with the number only, that's how the learning starts. When you start getting your hands dirty, this is where things will get excited. You will start to have more questions that are more technical. You get what I mean? You'll have questions like, should I optimize for this or that? What are the differences with, between this and that? What is custom audience? What is lookalike audience? What is this and that? Those are more, I would say, relevant questions. Instead of keep asking, what's the best way to become a successful businessman? But seriously, different people will have different answers to that. But what it means to you, to develop your way of becoming a successful businessman? I hope it makes sense. But yes, 4 elements: the right message to the right people, to take the right action with the right strategy. 4 elements. Watch through the video, probably will give you some ideas. Okay, cool. Good discussion. All right, so I think that's pretty much it. Thank you so much for joining me. We overrun a little bit, but I don't think you mind. Anyway, that's what we do every Sunday night. So if you have any questions, go to my YouTube channel. Let's try to find an answer. Otherwise, drop your question as a comment on any of my YouTube videos. I'm going to bring them over and answer your questions on the following Sunday night, which I do this live for half an hour every Sunday night. Okay, with that, thank you so much, guys. Have the rest of a good weekend and have a great week ahead next week. All right, all the best. See you next week. Good night. Bye.